Yo, what's up, y'all? It's the last day of the month, which happens to be Gamebreak Day. Boy, I gotta be honest, I is exhausted. But that's all right, though. We'll get through this together. It's likely going to be fairly short, as it was, last month I was sick. This month, I had a bad back problem, so we didn't get out a whole lot. Plus, it's sort of the beginning of spring. We'll be doing some kayaking, some car drives, some racetrack days, and some other stuff as well. So those are some of the included topics and things we talk about for those who have never been to a game break. Tude was trying to get me to play Apex earlier. He's like, why don't we start a new revolutionary game break and we can just play Apex through it because it's April, Apex. You see what I'm doing there? I was like, no, Dad. It would defeat the whole purpose of the name, Game Break. Although we do talk about games, we don't play games during these. And at one point a while back, I used to have like big camera mode and like small camera mode and all this stuff. And unfortunately, my slobs, my Streamlabs OBS kind of got all wonkadood and I never got it fixed again. So likely something I'll do on one of these days that I'm bored and nobody will play any games with me. Speaking of games, we did get South Park completed earlier today. Congrats to the Tude Man. Tude Man. We both got that plat and completed and deleted, so we're on with that. Now, just in case you're wondering if I'm not shouting out the people at Game Breaks, we don't do that. Usually we get to the meat and potatoes. Really, the reason is because back in the day, I used to do that, and I'd spend a lot of time, and people would show up and want the information, not the hellos, so I've skipped over that for the time being. But on that whole note, what's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got some analytics to show you, and they're not as good as I would hope. But still, this is still appreciation moment. This is all about you guys and your dedication to the channel. Some of you more than others, and some of this is some of you aren't even here to watch the live streams. You watch the guide videos, which is really what keeps this channel afloat. But that being said, this is a quick peek at last month's accomplishments. We had just under 1,000 subs, 982. We crossed the 201,000 sub mark. Views were about 683, so just under 700K and just under 40,000 watch time hours. Now we click ahead and look at this month. We actually didn't really jump a whole lot. It doesn't feel like it anyways. Just about 800 subs. There it says 966, but the math doesn't look right. If you do that from here to here, it just doesn't seem right. Views are almost identical. I mean, there's obviously 10,000, which is a big number, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's relatively small, and watch time was pretty close too, as you can see, only a 0.6 thousand difference, so that's like 600 hours or whatever, right? Which is, again, a lot, but in the grand scheme of YouTube, that's like nothing. But, much love to you all out there who continue to watch and support. I know that we've had some dormancy between guides, and as you guys know, we've definitely spent time writing guides for other games over the years. I mean, if you go to the happythumbsgaming.com website and you click the browse button and go to trophy achievement guides, you can see there's a ton of guides. In fact, Dougie and I were talking the other day, and he'd forgotten, like, I forgot I even wrote this. I forgot I wrote this. And whatever. I see you, Bobby. What up, bro? So ultimately, we've done a lot, but we haven't had as much success with outside Lego games. So basically, we stick with that formula. We've kind of been holding our breath, playing some stream games. We've got a very busy stream schedule, trying to keep the channel relevant and keeping you guys in the mix, making sure that those notifications go out to the inboxes and all that stuff. And, I'm happy to report that we do have some good news. There will be another guide coming real soon. That's relative real soon, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. But ultimately, we've got a lot of stuff, and that's the reason why we're able to continue doing this. If I was just simply streaming, as some of you have tried and know, it's a tough game out there, especially in the gaming section. I have a friend that just started a channel not long ago, and he is a fly fisherman. I know I've mentioned this a couple of times. Bro is killing it right now. Most of his videos get 1,000 to 5,000 views in the first 24 hours, and then they continue to trickle up after that. I'm so proud of him because bro never had any editing experience, never had any videography experience. In fact, I didn't even know he was capable of taking pictures. He's not one of those guys that posts a lot. He would do goofy stuff, if anything, and always kind of make it a joke rather than take it serious. And so now he's like got this real awesome, serious channel with fishing and all these quick, awesome edit cuts. And I don't know where he learned all this stuff so fast. And last I heard, he didn't even have a computer, but he's crushing it. And I'm super proud of him. And one of my other friends is actually talking to me this morning about starting a YouTube channel. And I'll, if it actually happens, I'll be definitely talking to you guys much more about it and trying to share that and try to get the feet off the ground, so to speak, send some traffic that way. If it looks like something you'd watch, definitely click the like button and hit that sub as well. But if not, at least, give my boy a little love. But again, that's not happening just yet. So, let's see here. Elizabeth's here too. What up? What up? Yeah, so definitely slow poke month, not a lot going on. One of the biggest things that happened was, obviously my back. That was something I mentioned earlier. For those of you who don't know, when I was 18 years old, I was in a car accident and it messed up a couple of my vertebrae pretty bad. I had to go through like 8 months worth of like muscle physical therapy and rehabilitation. I didn't have to learn to rewalk again or anything crazy like that, but I definitely suffered tremendously, and I was on a bed for most of my days, and it was tough. Since then, life has been up and down with my back, and we've been rowing, and that's actually helped a lot. I've built up some pretty good core stamina for my muscles in that area, and as a result, I haven't really struggled much. But I pulled a muscle, and then like 3 or 4 days went by and I was like, it's my row day, I'll be okay. And I hopped on the rower and I went about 5 minutes. And I know some of you already know this story. I went about 5 minutes and was like, no, this is not going to work. Because normally, no pain, no gain, right? Like there's certain things that you can work through, and like certain pains that like my knees sometimes will click or make weird noise. And my elbow, I fell on my elbow when I was young. And as a result, I like chipped part of my elbow bone. And so like the bone is supposed to be like all the way over here, right? And I have like this tendon that goes down it, but because it's chipped, my tendon sort of sits on the outside, and like when I do push-ups or any kind of like strenuous, like it clicks and pops. It's really bad. It's been that way since I was like 8 years old. I fell really bad on a bike, trying to show off, doing one of those front wheelies. Remember front wheelies? Going down a hill. Hey, Mom, I know you're here to pick me up, but I want to show you something real quick. Let's go down the hill and get going as fast as I can. Let me put my foot right in the wheel. Boom, boom, boom. I had done it a million times, but I was trying to show off for my mom, so I wanted to go real big. And as a result, I crashed really bad, and I was bloodiest I think I've ever been, and probably the scared. And that may be where my fear or phobia of blood comes from. It may have been started on that day. Anyways. Moving right along, part of the other big moment for this month was that Jillian actually went to a conference for work. Now, if you know anything about how this house runs, it runs solely on Jilly power. Like she is the coal that makes this fire burn. And with her being gone, we can usually make good. But Drexler, he struggles a little bit. Now, this was likely his best trip with her away yet. But usually he won't even leave my side, and he whines and he worries, and he does the heavy chin thing, and he'll walk me and he'll bark at me and try to get me to go to the gate because he's hoping that she'll be there. And this time was better, but ultimately it was still rough, and harder for him than it was for me, but also hard for me. And but it was good to have her back. She came back last week, and normally when she's gone for a few days, his excitement becomes like this high pitched, like I can't even do it, but it's like almost like a grizzly bear slash squirrel slash, it's like it's the craziest thing ever. So I set up cameras. I set up multiple cameras because I thought, oh, this is gonna be so good. I'm gonna get it. He's gonna go wild. Now I got a cool little video, but it's really just him barking. So you have to let me know if the barking's super loud because I'll turn it down. I can't hear it on my end, but I have the EQ that gives me a good idea of what the volume is. And here we go, right here. Here's the Drexy. So this is his window that he sits in all the time. If you look right above the midway point of the window, you'll see a blue car. Oh, we already missed it, actually. There it comes right there. That's the Prius. And Drex is confirming she's stopping and pulling up our driveway. That click right there is like, yep, it's her. And he's off. And again, let me find this channel just in case it gets too barky.
Who was that?
Where are you at? Where are you at? There you are. Of course, I got to hype him up a little bit, rile him up. Mom's home, mom's home, mom's home. And Reese was right in the back, too, and he was, like, trying to play games. He was like, bro, just shut up. Drex doesn't need a paparazzi to see. I was like, yes, he does. Yes, he does. He's trying to break open the gate there. You'll see here in a second. You'll see the wall light up and to be bright, and then here she comes. I cut it right there. There's a whole second video of him going around and he tucks his tail and sort of gets the zoomies on the couch, but it was sort of uneventful. And if I'm being totally honest, he had trashed our living room. So it looked like there's blankets everywhere and needed to be vacuumed too. So yes, there was a cutie appearance too. She did make a slight little showing there too. So that was pretty awesome. But it was great to have her back. That is for dang sure. And let's see here. Making sure I didn't miss anything. So like looking ahead, I want to talk games. I've got a couple of stages of this conversation too, and this is really the majority of what I have to share. We do have stream schedule and some Patreon shouts and stuff like that to talk about as well. And as I mentioned, it's going to be short. We've got some stuff going on here, so I got to get rolling. But ultimately, I wanted to talk about. So this is kind of a tough one because, first of all, as you guys know, I have a really hard time talking about games that aren't official, right? I don't like doing the rumor stuff. I don't like clickbait. Like, as much as it probably would help my channel analytically and financially, I don't want to become one of those guys that does that. Listen, I'm one of those guys, too, that doesn't like to sell $75 t-shirts. Even if we could and can, I don't want to because I don't want to pay $75 for a t-shirt. And so I've always kind of had that mentality. And for a business state of mind, it's actually terrible because I'm more into the human than I am. Like, I'd rather sell 10 t-shirts at $10 than one t-shirt at $100. And there's multiple reasons for that. First of all, there's 10 people in the wild wearing my stuff. That's way better than one person. Second of all, like, I just don't want it to be like, I'm not trying to be Supreme or anything like that. I like Supreme tacos and nachos, but I don't like my t-shirts and stuff Supreme prices. So it's like Bobby with the video games. You got to go Bobby prices, right? Shout out to Bobby. So all of that being said, there's a game that it's not even officially announced, okay? It's not even officially announced. And I know some of you are probably thinking, yes, it is. It happened today. Different game. Not talking about that one. Settle down. But this game has not been announced. However, it's been leaked probably 20 times in the last 2 years. And if you haven't figured it out yet, it's Lego 2K Gold. I just wanted to talk about this for a second because there was last week or maybe the week before, there was a giant like report, and it was like a financial report. And of course I'm not smart in that regard, so I didn't really read it. But what I did get from what I read was that some video game companies and movie studios are in pretty big financial trouble right now. Mostly due to investments that they thought would pay out that didn't, like movies that, you know, cost 20 million that only made 7, right? Or a game that cost 100 million that only made 7. And so now the new projects, like some of them, like one of them's a movie that I've talked about on stream a couple of times, the Looney Tunes movie. Will Forte is the star. He's like the writer, producer. He says it's great. The movie's finished, ready to go. But I don't know if it's Warner Brothers or who's behind it, but somebody is saying that they just don't have money and they're not going to market it. The movie's dead. So it's done. Why wouldn't you try to recop some of those costs? I don't understand that. There's got to be something else going on. But one of the games that's believed to be canceled as a result is Lego 2K Gold. Now, let's talk about one thing right in front of us right now. We all have, well, most of us have seen a football game, soccer, for those Americans out there. If you get into European football and you watch it, when a goal is scored, what do? They holler out, goal! That's a historical thing. I'm sure it's tied to certain teams and areas more than it is the entire league. I'm pretty new when it comes to football, so I don't know. I'm sure Nam and Kiwi and some others who frequent that will probably let me know. But what I'm getting at here is that I don't know that a game would be called like an action, right? Like, go! Like, first, that was the first thing that stood out to me when I very first saw it, like a year and a half ago. Like, wouldn't it just be called Lego 2K Goal? Now, looking at this artwork, it looks pretty legit. It looks very possible. Like whoever put this together likely had some pretty high-end assets and maybe worked for 2K. Maybe this game does exist and it's being made. Right now, as it sits, we have not heard anything about it officially. We keep getting these weird fly-by-night websites like, you know, fake GameStops that post a listing for a game's release date, or a New Zealand Amazon site had it for 7 seconds, or, you know, there's all these different places that it's popped up, and it's never, ever been there for more than an hour before it gets taken down. So, I mean, there's plenty of places like Happy Thumbs that have reported on it, right? There's lots of that out there. But the reason why I haven't jumped on the bandwagon and been like, Lego 2K Go, it's in development, because I don't know if it is or not. And I've been holding my breath, hoping that we're going to get some information at some point soon, but so far we haven't gotten anything. Then with that information that came, like I said, a week ago, 10 days ago, something like that, this was one of the games. Now, I've seen a couple of channels, a couple of outlets talk about this and suggest that this game was canceled along with the Looney. I've seen a couple of them bunched together. I've seen them separately. So I've seen this covered, and it's likely one of those situations where there's a report somewhere, right? Like somebody just wrote something and then everybody else is reading that as their news source and then reporting on that, which you guys know I'm not big on reports, which is why I haven't talked about this. But so I've always said that there's high probability that this could be it. We know that Lego was exclusive with TT Games until about 2 years ago when they signed an agreement with 2K to bring some more Lego content in the form of racing, Lego 2K Drive, and sports games. We don't know what sport. It was just sports games. So this fits the possibilities, but has never come to fruition. So I'm still hopeful. Still hopeful. I see Bobby's comment too, and I feel the same way to an extent, especially knowing how bad Lego 2K Drive failed initially. More and more people are getting access to it via Game Pass or via PlayStation Plus Ultimate. And as a result, they're not having to pay for it. So there's no risk out of pocket. And they're actually enjoying it. In the last week, I've seen a huge uptick in comments saying, thank you so much for these collectible videos, which I didn't think I was ever going to get because honestly, I thought I was really one of the only people that enjoyed that game. Now, Kirsten has come out before she starts yelling at me in the chat. She has enjoyed the game as well. She played it, and I highly recommend it. If you get a chance to play Lego 2K Drive, I highly recommend it. Now, will Lego 2K Goal be as fun? I don't know. Will we get Nom to play a Lego game if it exists? Probably. That's probably our best chance of getting Nom to play a Lego game. Not that we need to, but just spitting that out there. So, you know, I'm still hopeful, but I'm not going to report. I won't speak much about this game other than today and naysaying anybody who says it's happening. Now, the second 2K or Lego or, I mean, I don't think Warner Brothers is going to be the publisher on that. I don't know who published 2K Drive. That's one thing. Probably 2K. 2K is usually their own publisher as well as development too. So, and who knows, we might be getting some more Lego Forza stuff, right? That's how it all started with 2K. They like dipped their feet in the water with that game a while back. You remember that? I streamed that for like a day or did some videos on it, a video, I think. But anyways, super hopeful that this will either, you know, as they say, ish or get off the pot, right? I hope we get something one way or the other, whether it's scrapped and it was happening or it's all been a big ruse. You know, and somebody's probably in their basement right now going, AI for the win, broski, AI for the win. Because, I mean, you probably could do like some AI generation with like Mega Lego Soccer, and then Mega, I mean, styling wise, the 2K Gold looks identical to the 2K Drive. So whoever did it did a great job. Whether it's real or not, we may never know. So, the next segment of this game talk is going to be some games that are on my radar. Now, I spent a little bit of time, not a ton, but I did do a handful of Google searches. I did some discussing with some of the team a couple different times, just about games in general that they were looking forward to or whatever. And as a result, I've got kind of a list of upcoming games that I personally am excited for. Not likely to see any guides for most, if not all of these, but there's a couple that might get some guides. We'll see. I didn't do anything fancy. What I did was I just found a Basically, I found a format of image that worked for most of these games, and then I sort of made the other ones work too. So they're basically just some still shots of games. And they're in no particular order except for their release dates. So the ones that I'm going to display first are the ones that are likely going to be the most soon to see on the channel in the form of a stream or possibly a guide, depending on what happens. But first one, any guesses? Any guesses? One that didn't make the channel or didn't make this because it has no release date yet at all. And I do have a couple that at the end that don't have release dates, so I could have added it. And in fact, I was really bummed because I only had 9 and I was going for 10. And now I'm just thinking of a 10th one. And Teflon, it's your fault. Where were you when I was thinking about this stuff? Because as soon as I saw your name, for some stupid reason, a game popped into my head, and I'm sure you know what game it is. First one on the list that is expected to be a reality has been called out. It's got a release date, and it's coming soon. Boom. Little Kitty Big City. You probably never heard of this one, and you're probably like, what? I'm sure Bobby probably just spit out his drink and probably turned off the stream in disgust. But I have to be honest, I ran into this trailer about a week ago, maybe, and and I shared it with Kirsten, and immediately she was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the cutest little game." It's kind of like a small-time cat adventure RPG. I don't know how much RPG there really is, but it looks fun. It's very cute. It's coming to Switch and PlayStation, and I think Xbox as well. Just something fun. Not all games are built for everybody. Not all games will be streamed forever or ever, might not even make it. But this is one that kind of stood out, and it looks fun. The art style is very cool and cute. And if you guys remember, in a way, it's kind of personal because, you know, we used to have Emmett. I mean, Emmett, that's kind of so, like, to me, like, if I get to, like, sort of play as Emmett, that's how I'm gonna envision it. It's gonna be like, it's super awesome. So I'm excited for Little Kitty Big City, which I do have some release dates here too. I can't remember which one that comes out. Looks like May 9th. So that's just like a week away, 10 days away. Next one is one that I am hoping that I'll be able to get a couple of people. So I already know I've gotten a hard no from one of our teammates that often plays with us because of a little phobia. Flushing my phone down the toilet. Is that all I had to do, bro? Was pull out Little Kitty Big City? But this next one's going to be not as interesting or fun and cute as this one. And it's probably going to be disgusting or gross or scary to some. But I cannot wait to play this. And it really goes back to a movie that's from my, not childhood, but like my earlier years, you know, teenage, 12, 14, 14, 15, my adolescent days. And that is Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This is made by the same developer that made Friday the 13th, the game, that made Predator Hunting Grounds. They also did the more recent Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But Ilphonic has been crushing it with the asymmetrical gameplay. And what that means is basically you're not even. So instead of like a 6v6 being symmetrical, asymmetrical means that they are not the same. So in this case, I believe it's 3v5, 3v4, 3v7. It's uneven. The clowns are a little overpowered. If they play and work together, they can easily take down the bad guys, which are the good guys. And the good guys, if they work together, they're all individually weak. But if they work together, they can take down the big guys. So I know Gerg is interested in playing this. Kirsten's already given me the hard no. We'll see what happens. There's a possibility. I've reached out to the developers. I actually know a guy on the team, and I have not pulled that card yet. I did the media press application, so I'm hoping to get approved through that. But one of the guys that likely will be the person approving it should see Happy Thumbs and go, oh, that's Brian, and should pull that. But if I don't get any codes, I don't know. I might try to offer to buy it for her so she can play with. I know some of you out there are probably going to get the game too, and it's possible we might be able to play. You might even be able to join on stream depending on our friendship scenarios, history, whatever. Like Bobby, I'd love to see it. It's going to be on console. It's going to be on the PS5. I think it's cross-play though, but we can look into that in the future. All right, and then next up, we're going a little different direction, not so scary. Or is it Silent Hill 2? Now, this game, I tried to go back and play Silent Hill 2 with the wife. Now, I think I've told you guys this before, maybe not. My mom and her husband have 3 houses that they own and rent in Bend, Oregon. Bend, Oregon is a pretty ritzy, high-end area, and where their place is like the Street of Dreams kind of area. It's brand new, everything's crazy high. They actually have a live-in person that rents from them in one of their houses, and I can't remember her name right now. I've never met her, but I'm supposed to meet her this summer. She was actually one of the main voices for the original Silent Hill 2 game. Now, I don't know if it's gonna apply. Like, I don't know if she did the voice acting for the new remake or if they hired somebody new, but I was supposed to meet her. So now, knowing this game was coming out, I tasked the wife with sitting with me and playing through the game. Sometimes she'll watch, like The Last of Us. We played through The Last of Us knowing that we're going to watch the show together. So I thought, hey, Silent Hill 2, we're going to meet so-and-so come this summer. It'd be really cool if we... So I bought it for the Xbox and started playing it, and I literally got nauseous and couldn't play it. Like, the controls are so old school. Like, you had to push up to walk, and like, I don't remember. Like, it's really weird. Like, everything is wonky. Like, shooting is X instead of triggers. Like, it was so backwards, and I had a hard time. Like, I think one camera is spin around, and the other analog is go forward. It is crazy difficult and not something I wanted to get into. And then you take that with the crazy, gross graphics because I was playing like the Xbox, whatever, maybe 360 version, through the digital, purchase on the store on the Xbox, but it just wasn't good. So I quit. I was like, I know I asked you to do this. I know you said you would, but I don't want to do this. She's like, okay, I don't care. So I'm hoping that this game will be current generation controls. I'm sure it will be. And yes. See, and I tried to play the remastered, the old school, but listen, most of my Silent Hill knowledge comes from the movies. I have not played a tremendous amount of the games. I know they're, in a way, Resident Evil E, right? Their structure is kind of the same and like fixed cam in the early ones. And so I know that a lot of the development is very similar. Storylines are different. I know the storyline about the old mine town and all that. So like, I got a fair amount of lore, but I'm still going to be noobing it up when it comes to the details. I won't have the nostalgia like a lot of people will. All right, moving along. Next game. Any guesses? I mean, I'm open for guesses all the way through here. 2 and 3 are very hard. Yeah, okay. Star Wars Outlaws. Now, this one has got my attention, and I'm actually, looking forward to playing it. Now, I don't know that we'll get around to trying to do some trophy achievement videos. So guides can be different ways, right? Like, I often get too complex with my expectations of what things should be. So, like, even trying to explain how to write a guide to Kirsten and Adam and some of the other people that have helped over the years, I over explain, and I sort of too many what ifs. Now with this, I think there's going to be a fair amount of like trophy achievements, like go to this planet and take out this guy with this. Boom. That could be a trophy video, and we could likely do a handful of those. Now, as far as collectibles and doing collectible guides and things like that, I have no idea if it would be worth the time or not. Now, right now, we're getting into spring and summer, which is usually when Tyler P sort of checks out. And it's not that I don't see him or hear from him, but he's busy with life and he doesn't really want to play games during the summer. And I respect the crap out of that. I think that's great. Winter, he's a little more hunkered down, a little more willing and able and ready to do those kinds of things. So knowing that, I don't know if Tyler would be interested in doing that. I don't know if I'll have access to it. And then we got Dougie back too. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Dougie has been back in the mix. He's been streaming with us. And right now we're doing some preliminary work on a future project too. So that's pretty exciting as well. So all of that aside, there's a possibility we might do some trophy achievement videos for this. Historically, we've done pretty good with trophy achievement videos. That's where we started. And before Lego took off, that's what everybody came to us for. So be looking for some possibilities of that. Now, depending on how they are, we'll see. And who knows? I might even be able to get like Kirsten to write the guide because I know she's pretty excited about this one as well. I haven't seen her comment either way about anything, so I don't even know. I'm not sure if she's out there or not. But If you are, Kirsten, let us know if you want to maybe contribute to that. $70 version. Yes, there's definitely lots of expensive things out there. And I mean, like South Park got crapped on quite a bit because of the fact that it was so short and this and that. But it was a $40 game too. So knowing that there's like a bunch of content coming, even though most of it seems like aesthetics and like cosmetic stuff, like nothing real meaty, but we'll see. $70 for a game, you want to get your money's worth out of it for sure. So, all right, next up, we got a couple more games. So let's get through this list. We got Test Drive. So this takes me way back. Now, Test Drive games used to be decent back in the early Need for Speed era. And then they just disappeared. I believe they were on the 3DO or the Real or whatever, like that Panasonic. Pretty sure that's where those games resided, and PC as well. But that was that was so long ago. But they're reviving the franchise and bringing it back. We've seen so little of the game, but from what I've seen so far, it's on my radar. Also, another racing game that is on my radar is not this one. Haha, fooled you. Indiana Jones is coming out too. So these are all sort of in the order of which they are expected to release, but that could change due to, pushing a game back or whatever. This is Bethesda's new secret creation, and it looks glorious. I cannot wait to play this. This is another one of those games that could potentially get some trophy achievement access. And depending on collectibles and things like that, we might do that as well. If I do, you'll probably hear me complain about it for the next 5 years about how much time and energy, but we'll see. I still have fun doing it. And ultimately at the end of the day, that could help a bunch of people out. And that's what we're here for. So back to racing. This was what I thought was the next card. Recreation. So this was announced a while ago, and it's my understanding that there's a tremendous amount of people that worked on the Burnout franchise. So it's not an EA game from my understanding, but I haven't really done a ton of homework on it. I just know that the concept of the game is very much like Burnout Paradise City. Whether it'll play and function like that, I don't know. Very hopeful for it. And by the way, there's no like weird wind noise or anything like that, right? Like it's pretty hot up here, so I boosted up the fan, and the fan's trolling the room, but I didn't know it might be hitting the mic. The mic's on this side, so it probably isn't affecting it, but nobody said anything yet. But Indiana Jones 60 frames per second. Is that a thing? I mean, I don't personally have any problem with it being 60 or 120. I mean, 120 is always an advantage and cool. It'll eventually get there, right? I don't know, though. I want the game to be finished when it releases, and that applies to all games. And if 60 frames and it's finished and plays lovely, I'm okay with that, knowing that they'll likely add an update for 120. My old eyes, I don't even know if I can really tell the difference that much anymore. So those are all games that, minus Recreation and I guess I don't think Indy has I don't think Indy, Test Drive, or Recreation have actual release dates yet. Which brings me to the next one that doesn't have a release date. Boom! TT Games has been working on a secret game for we don't know how long. Now, this may fall into the category of games that were canceled, just like we talked about 2K Goal earlier. If WB is in trouble, this would likely be a WB published game. I have zero insight or information or knowledge that states anything. So I'm not trying to create rumors or anything. I'm just stating that could be one of the games that got canceled. So there's a lot of talk over the last couple of years that like they were working on a new Harry Potter. We've had ex-developers that no longer work there claim that they were working on a DC franchise project, likely Lego Batman 4. Nothing has ever been confirmed, and all that stuff has been removed from the internet and scrubbed down. So it's all gone. I don't know what it is and when it'll get an announcement. I was hopeful that we would see it sooner than later. I mean, we just crossed over the 2-year mark of the release of Star Wars Skywalker Saga. So we know it's been at least 2 years since they released that. Now, you got to remember, the studio probably had their hands full of lots of bugs and fixes for quite a few months after the game released. I personally didn't run into a ton of game breaking or crazy stuff, but with like the duplication glitch and a lot of the other simple stuff, There was some issues. There was some planets that weren't, or some ships that weren't pop, some things that weren't popping. They fixed most of those. So it took a while. So although it's been 2 years since the majority of the development studio has been working on that or released that, they probably spent quite a bit of time working on it. Now, there was probably some people already moving forward, working on their next project, whatever that is. Now, they also used to have 3 studios that they worked from. They generally worked on different projects, but with the fact that they don't have the publishing rights and the IPs available to them, they are probably more likely working on it together, especially after the release of Skywalker, which again, to me, wasn't a bust, but a lot of people hated on it. And that's kind of the world we live in, right? If it's not absolutely perfect, let's go ahead and crap all over it and cancel it, right? I mean, that's kind of what people do. That's not how I function, but a lot of people do work that way. And it's sad. And at the same time, people spend hard-earned money and they want their product to work right. So there's that too. All right. Now, I know I said last, but that I had 10, and then I only came up with 9. And the 10th one that I don't have a card for, which we've only done 8. So we got a 9th one I'm going to talk about too. But the 10th one that I don't have a card for, Squirrel with a Gun. That game looks wild. I don't know if it'll be any fun to play or not. I don't know if it's going to be 5 minutes or 500 hours. It looks wildly chaotic and fun though. And I know Teflon has also been looking forward to it as well. So I don't have a card for that one, but that would be another unreleased one. Now, this last one, I set this up a couple of days ago. Some things have changed since I put this together. So the last one, Ben's already been shouting from the rooftops. Funko Fusion actually has been announced for about, I don't know, a year and a half now. They gave us a release trailer today, and they also gave us some information and release date as well. So we got a release date, we got a bunch of new information, a trailer itself that shows all the stuff, and the date is going to be September 13th. So this game is basically, okay, so if you don't know what this game is, think Lego Dimensions, but swap out Lego for Pop Funko, right? The little collectibles that come in the boxes you always see. They got one for everybody but me, I'm pretty sure. So instead of Lego, it's Pop Funko and no toys. So you don't need the Pop Funko toys to play the game like you did with Dimensions. It's basically what we've all been crying for years, for getting a second Dimensions or something similar to it. But long story short, the top dudes and dudettes that worked at TT Games bailed. They left after Skywalker was done. Some of them during the final steps, before they even went gold, they left. Art Parsons was one of the main guys who's been involved in pretty much every Lego game we've ever played. Art's a god when it comes to Lego games, and I'm sure he's not seeing this, probably has no idea who I am personally. I know he knows who Happy Thumbs is because he likes my stuff often, but ultimately, I got so much love and respect for that dude, and it's largely because of his contributions to games that have totally, for one, made my dreams come true as a YouTuber and a content creator, because I've been able to provide and play these Lego games that I've connected with so much, and I've been able to provide guides and all these mini kit all these things. So for me, it's created a career. So, big time shout out to TT and all those guys, but also the people who left, who are now at 1010 Games. They're now working on Funko Fusion, and it's going to be out September. So I spoke with both Tyler and Doug this morning, and I did come to the conclusion that we will be writing a guide for this come September, and Dougie will be back at the helm writing another guide. So it's like riding a bike. He's just going to hop right on, and hopefully it all goes smooth. That is the plan anyways. So we still got a ways to go before that is a reality, but those are the top 10 games that are appealing to me as of right now. And again, that could change at any point. And I probably forgot 1 or 2. I haven't been looking at the chat for a minute, but ultimately, I'm pretty stoked about what's ahead. We've had a little bit of a lull the last few months. No disrespect to any games that have come out that have been fun for people. I know Kirsten has really enjoyed Sea of Thieves, right? I know that's not a new game, but it's new to the PlayStation side, and not everybody had an Xbox or PC to play it. So, there are some games that have come out recently that we have enjoyed. South Park was great. I had a good time with that. But ultimately moving forward, those are the games that stand out, and I'm pretty excited about all of them. Now, on top of all of that, we did get some information, and I just wanted to look at this. So this morning, as I was creating the stream for this morning, they started off with an announcement that you could pre-order Funko Fusion at GameStop. So this graphic popped up, and I just wanted to like just take a quick look at it. So I am working on a video. It's basically going to be a tiny bit of information and the trailer. I hope to release that tomorrow morning before stream. I don't know that it'll happen for sure, but that's the goal. If not, it'll happen Thursday, which will be totally late, but there's going to be plenty of people that still don't even know this game has a release date or any new updates. But there are over 60 characters that are playable in this game, and there are over 20 franchises that have been included. A lot of them we saw in LEGO Dimensions, like Ghostbusters, Scooby-Doo, I believe, although I haven't seen any Scooby on here. But Back to the Future is another one. There's quite a few things. Jurassic Park, He-Man, which is a new addition. One thing that stood out to me that I don't think anybody else has caught yet. If they have, I've not seen anybody comment on this. But one of the franchises they've included is one of my favorite movies of the last couple of decades. And you guys are going to go, what? Oh, that's terrible. Nope. By Jordan Peele. If you haven't seen it, it's a crazy, nail-biting, what the crap is happening kind of movie. Very exciting. But if you watch the trailer and you stop at like 1 minute and like 13 seconds or 19 seconds, something like that, like right in the early minute, 1 minute, 13 seconds, you can actually see the set piece for Nope. And I'm super excited for that because that hasn't been talked about. So they slid a couple of things in, and I haven't caught them all. I watched the trailer once this morning. I was pretty excited. It looks great. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff I haven't even figured out yet. And I'm guessing it looks like, this is what it looks like. It looks like the storyline is going to be something like Funko Freddy, who's like their main guy. It's like something happens to Funko Freddy, and like the Funko Pops have to come and save him. Kind of like Lord Vortek from Dimensions. A little similar in what it looks like. Now, I'm solely basing that off the trailer and what small information I have gathered through the interwebs, but ultimately, it looks great. So, September 13th. Pretty excited, you guys. Pretty excited. Don't forget, I still want to go far. That's still in the future. I haven't taken this off. This is my motivation. You know, they say, like, speak it into existence. That'll be my car soon. This time next year, I'll be rolling that. That's the goal. I don't know if it's going to happen, though. Wife likes to buy plants and other things. We also need a new bed. You know how expensive beds are? Have you ever bought a bed? Do it, but don't look at the price. Just pick the one you want and just say, I'll make $50 payments for the rest of my life. And that probably won't cover the bed either. Let's see here. Never got a Switch. Waiting for the next one to go. Yeah, there's a new Switch on the way. I don't know much about it. If it's going to be like more powerful or any of that. I hope so. That's my biggest complaint about that system. The the compatibility, the availability, the whatever that you can put it here and do it there and set it at the park or set it at your TV or there's all these cool things about it. But in a way, a lot of that's gimmicky and doesn't apply to my daily routines. The thing that really gets me is how long it takes to load some of those games and how graphically impaired they are, because they don't have the processing power. So that would be one thing I'd love to see is them up the ante on the power of that thing. I would buy a new one. I don't even barely play my Switch, but I would buy a new one if they up the power. Let's see. That's when you build your own Lego. Yeah, true. Let's see here. So I'm looking at some comments. Funko Pop, not Funk Popo. Did I say Funko Popo? I said Funko Pop. Funko Pops. Yeah, Funko Pops. It's been a long day. I may have messed that up. Clip it! All right. Let's see here. What else we got here? Oh, yeah. Stream schedule. So, you guys have been curious to what game is going to replace South Park? And I think Paige even asked earlier, what game is going to replace Suicide Squad when we're done with that? That could finish up tomorrow. There is a small possibility that we will hit. I don't know what it's going to take to get the mastery levels up. If we literally have to play, if we have to play 3 incursions at a certain mastery level before the next one unlocks, and then we have to play 3 more before the next one unlocks. So right now we're at mastery level 1. So if we have to play 3 incursions before 2 unlocks, and then play 3 incursions before 3 unlocks, and 3 incursions before 4 unlocks, and if that's the case, and we really have 60-ish incursions left, it's not happening tomorrow. And what we'll likely do is play it tomorrow. We'll probably line up some time either Thursday or Saturday to play off stream, and hopefully get through a lot of those before we get to the next stream. I would like to finish that up because I do have plans for a new game. And here it is. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Monday right now currently is Thief Simulator, and we've got some plans for games after that, but we'll wait until we get a little further into that before we tell you. Now, next up for Tuesday is a game called Gangs of Sherwood. This is something that Tude brought to me quite a long time ago, and, you know, it was on sale roughly a month and a half ago or whatever, and we just started South Park, and we knew that we were wanting another game for Tuesday, and we actually picked it up, and I invited Gerg and Kirsten to join too, because it is a 4-player game, and we thought maybe this could be the game that replaces Wednesdays, my dudes. But it turns out that they were not interested, largely because the reviews showed that the game was a short platinum, and they weren't sure they were going to get their value out of it. Now, it was on sale for $20, and I tried to convince them, but it wasn't enough. So Tude and I will likely be checking that out by ourselves. It's always possible we might see the BHU, just depends on his work schedule. And the Gray is welcome too, but he's been working like a dog, so probably won't see him. But Wednesday we got Suicide Squad, and the game that is likely to replace that is a game called Alone in the Dark, which is a recently released game that is on PS5, Xbox, and PC, and it's basically a remake of an old game that I believe started on like the Commodore 64 or something really early, like earlier than well, Teflon probably knows. You should know this. Where was the original place that you could play Alone in the Dark? It was like crazy old, and I do hope to get to that. That's my plan. Now, I may play one stream of it and go, this is the worst, I hate it. But it does look very Resident Evil-ish to me, and it's been on the list for a while to play, but Suicide Squad just don't quit. So we'll see how that rocks out. Like I said, I'm hoping to get Suicide Squad platted in the next week or 2, but I just really am unsure of how that mastery level stuff works and how soon we'll get that tier 3 stuff as well. Now, there is some other grindage for some levels, but I'm guessing by the time we get the mastery will be well beyond the levels we need for everything else. And then there is one solo trophy too. So, I mean, there's likely quite a bit of time left, but again, I just don't know. Thursday is going to continue to be my day off. I'm going to be working on other projects. In fact, if you don't know, I actually do some marketing for a couple of companies. One of them is a golf course that I'm fairly active with. They're the ones that take up the majority of my Thursday time, but I do have some other side projects that I work on, and we'll start prepping for some new stuff ahead regarding the Funko Fusion and stuff too. So as more information becomes available, we'll likely do more videos and breakdowns and things like that. Saturday, Friday, we're going to continue to flip back and forth between Apex and Fortnite. That seems to be a fun little switch. I know that some people don't like Apex and some people don't like Fortnite. Some people don't like either of them. And regardless, though, Friday remains to be the SIR day of the week. We've definitely had a lot of fun with Fortnite as of late. And this season of Apex with the shields shift and everything, you know, I didn't like the way they changed the evolution of the shields when they went from like, remember they had, because at first it was like you either had this shield or that shield. There was no evolutions to the shield. So when you had a blue, you couldn't work to a purple and then to a red. You just had to switch from a blue to a purple. And I remember when that switch happened, I hated it. And even today, Toot hadn't played a lot. We played some after stream as we promised. And, you know, he was kind of like, well, how do we get the shields up? You know, like, there's a lot of work to do shield. And turns out everybody else had red shields every time we ran into anybody, so we didn't win anything. We got a couple seconds and a third, but no firsts. But ultimately, I've been enjoying that rotation. We've got Apex for the next 2 weeks. I know that as much. And so this week, it'll be Toot and I and likely Gray. I'm hoping Gray's going to be able to make it. And then next week will be Toot and Nam and I, because Nam will be back from Vietnam on his vacation with his family. And so what up, Lucky? I see you sliding in there. And let's see here. So yeah, and then Fortnite will be, it's so basically Apex is ending its current season this week and we'll be starting the new season next week. So Nam will be back just in time to start off the new stuff, and Toot and I will be grinding away trying to finish up this stuff. because I'm only like 56 or 57 battle pass or something like that. So I still got a lot of ways to go in just about 6 days. So we'll be playing that pretty much every day. And then Saturday's off, and then Sunday is our Lego stream day, which is back to the 10 a.m. Pacific stream time. That's right, Pacific stream. That's what PST stands for. No, it doesn't, Pacific Standard. But basically, we are almost done. I actually expect to finish it this weekend. I will be placing a vote up. Once I do complete it, that vote will ride out for about 2 weeks. Basically, it'll ride out till Saturday when I make my final decision. So we're going to take a weekend off from the streams on Sunday, and it actually happens to be Mother's Day. I couldn't have planned it any better. It really just lucked out that way. So we're going to go spend some time with my mom on Saturday, and then Sunday we're going to lay low here at the house, and I will not be streaming on Mother's Day. So, hey, Bobby, if you want to join, for sure would. If you got Tuesdays, bro, you're more than welcome to join us. We don't expect it to be a super long game, but, South Park was supposed to be like a 12 to 15-hour plat, and we got 6 streams out of it. So one of them was pretty short, and one of them... Well, yes, one of them, Boo, was there. So, but yeah, I'll touch base with you and let me know. I wish I would have mentioned it when it was on sale because we picked it up for Bobby price, and I don't think it is anymore. But if it is, definitely pick it up. If it's not, then maybe wait till Tuesday and see how it is, and then maybe pick it up if like the first half hour goes good or something. I mean, that's an obvious possibility. But yeah, so that's about it. So we'll be choosing our new Lego game. That vote, if you haven't voted before, is actually going to take place on our YouTube community page. It should hit your notifications just like a video does, but instead of taking you to a video, it should take you to the vote. So be looking for that. And if you have your notifications turned off, just be looking for it starting next week, or go turn them on. Either way, I'm not going to twist your arm and try to make you do it. But if you want to, only if you want to. Yes, you really want to. Yep, that's right. I got a Thumbie shirt on right now. You can get these at htgmerch.com. There's actually a new updated version. This is the classic Thumbie that is also available there, but there's 2 different versions of Thumbie, so definitely be checking out that. And that's htgmerch.com. In fact, I do believe we even got a quick little preview we can pop up. It's the same old if you've been there before. If you haven't, go check it out, though. There's lots of fun stuff, including stickers, beanies, long sleeve, short sleeves. We got all sorts of stuff, and I'm definitely down to customize things on specific orders. So like if you want your nephew or your kids or your significant other's name on like the back of the shirt or something like that, we could definitely set that up for you too. I have been known to do that in the past. So basically, that's all I got for the majority of stuff. It looks like I'm right on time, too. We do have one last thing left. I do want to give a shout out to our Patreon supporters. We still have some of them, believe it or not, which is really one of the main reasons I still do these game breaks. So if you don't know, check out patreon.com/HappyThumbsGaming. It is not required that you go there and support us, but it is greatly appreciated. And over the years, the Patreon support has really helped us with equipment and upgrades and things like that. And it's greatly appreciated. So for those of you who are on patreon.com/HappyThumbsGaming and are at $5 and up, you get a visual shout out. What's happening? My button's not working. Let's try that again. That was weird. What? Did you see that? It was like a glitch. It's like a display glitch. We had to shift some names around, but John Bondi was added to the list. So big shout out to our most recent contributor, John Bondi, who is also on the top 10. He, the $10 and up shout outs, which we're going to get to here in a hot second. So let me go ahead and adjust my screen here. I don't know if you saw my question on the premiere page. Best way to share the links. I mean, you can send them to me on Facebook. I just don't know how soon, you know what I mean? Like, I may see them tonight. It may be a day or two before I'm there, but that's probably going to be the best way. The best way. If you really want everybody to see them, you could join the Discord and post them there too. But if you're just trying to keep it between you and me, then just send them right to me, and that'd be the best way. Just send them to like my like a private message or whatever. Let's see here. I don't get my dog. Nimmy would like it. Who's Nimmy? Is that your dog? Your dog Nimmy? All right, we got the $10 and up supporters. He's been here since day one. He is Mr. Fun. You know him as Dougie Fresh. Thanks for being a supporter, Doug. Much love, much love. Good to have you back on board, and I cannot wait to see what we create. because we ate some good stuff back in the day. We're gonna get that magic going again, and hopefully we'll get it rolling. Next up, we got the newest addition to the Patreon, and happens to be top of the list right now. It's John Bondi. He has been a huge supporter of the channel in the last couple of months, especially. I'm not sure when he originally first started following us and watching our videos, but he has definitely made his presence known the last couple of months. And John, we appreciate you. Haven't seen you in this stream today, but I'm sure you'll watch it later, and you'll probably comment something like, "I was there, I was there." Next up, we got Michael Karsberg. What up, Michael? Much love. Appreciate you more than you know. Haven't seen any big concerts or anything lately. And again, maybe it's just because I haven't been surfing the Facebooks as much as I used to. But I will be on the lookout for that. And let's see here. I know you're really good about watching and saying the keyword. So let's see here. What's the keyword today? I should have done it in the middle to see if you actually track in the middle or if you just skip to the Patreon. That could be considered cheating, sir. That could be, I'm no cheater. There it is. Organically came to the brain. Much love, Michael. Appreciate you. And last but not least, at the $10 and up tier, we got Bonnie Miller. Thank you so much, Bonnie. Much love, much love. All right, guys, so that's the Patreon stuffs for this month. If you would be interested in getting your own shout out, definitely hop on over to patreon.com/happythumbsgaming and drop pretty much any $1 and up gets you on the Happy Thumbs Namer Wall of Fame. If you don't know what that is, check out happythumbsgaming.com. There's a whole page dedicated to people who have contributed to Patreon over the years. So $1 gets you on the list, and then you're there for eternity or until the website goes down. So, which at this point, as you know, I'm buying domains from 15 years ago. I am still going to have a website up in years to come. So, basically choose whichever tier, add it, and hopefully we'll get you on there. Much love either way. Again, not a requirement, just an optional thing. So tomorrow, I hope to have a video for you as well as what hopefully will be the final stream of Suicide Squad. I doubt it, though. You never know, though. We might get to Mastery Level 20. Tude's going to be there, so we'll be smashing faces because instead of the AI bot, we'll have the Tude bot. So that'll be fun. And at least that's the plan anyways. And then, of course, I'll have the Gurg and the Karastron as well. So, hey, guys, I appreciate you much more than you will ever know. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm going to go ahead and dip out, though. I believe my dinner is ready. I can smell something. It's getting close if it ain't ready. And then we got some stuff we got to take care of. So I'm out of here, man. High fives, dabs, hugs, all of the aboves. Much loves to you all. If you have not already, please check out happythumbsgaming.com. Like I said, we got trophy achievement guides and more. If there's any requests or things that you'd like to see, if there's a game that stood out to you that wasn't on my list, drop a comment down below or head on over to our Twitter or Facebook and let us know. But guys, for me, that's going to do it. Much love for the double whammy today, guys. Thanks for supporting. I'll see you next time. See ya!